Hello everyone, this is Reg from Micro Grinder. I'm just making a pretty random video of my play on a Saturday night on the 15L 6 Max regular tables on 888. I have recently made a decision to wean myself off snap games. I don't believe my win rate in them is anything to write home about. I think it's probably in the maybe 4, maybe possibly 5 big blinds 100 area. With low win rates comes higher variance. I wasn't really enjoying the grind too much, and I think a lot of the time it's hard to find good games in the 15L games. 30NL's fine, but I'm not making too much an hour at 30NL because it's just 30NL. It's hard to have a decent hourly rate. So yeah, I'm starting to look at these games, try and get a big win rate again, and hopefully be playing 200NL by 2016. That's the plan. Those are obviously subject to change. Things can change, but that's the plan at the moment. I've had 9 months of playing Snap, and I've had enough. I'm just gonna have a little break from it and just do a little bit of table selection, try and find some good games. I'm going to check back this river here. This player's bad enough to call with worse some of the time, but I think probably I'm just going to win most of the time. And yeah, he turned up with Queen Ace. I don't think he's folding there. Sorry, I don't think he's calling there with Queen Ace. I think we got all the value we were going to get. So yeah, I mean, these games, they're pretty good. I mean, there's quite a few regulars and regular, but they're all regulars that give plenty of action, so they're pretty good games. And this table is obviously the market. This table we've got direct position on. This table has got 1, 2 potential weaker players, which is why I'm at this table. Just going to fold to this squeeze here. Don't expect this guy to fold. He's got a fold to 3, but I'm just 25%. So he is definitely the guy that's giving the action at this table. This bottom table here, we have 1, 2 loose passive players, and this table here, we have 1, 2 again. So as you can see, we're capable of getting on some pretty good tables. I am playing on a Saturday night, and I mean, look, this guy's just calling 3 bets with the king deuce suited. Here's the reason I'm at the table. Yeah, I'm playing on a Saturday night. The games aren't always just good through the week, but yeah, the weekends I expect them to be plenty good. I may have to play some snap through the weeks. If I struggle to get tables, I may just play some snap sessions, but I'm hoping to mostly play these tables now. This is where I built my bankroll at these tables, 15 full ring, and for a long time my win rate was double figures. It's only dropped to around 7 blinds 100 since I started playing Snap. I think my overall Snap win rate is around 4.5 blinds 100, which is still perfectly respectable. But I think I prefer pushing a larger edge. Maybe not getting as much volume in, but just enjoying the overall poker experience a lot more. I'm more motivated to play. Here, both these guys fold over 50% to c-bets, so it's a thin c-bet. I mean, I don't expect someone to fold pairs too often, but we stuck out on pairs quite a lot when we got 2 overcards. Like, maybe now. I mean, if this guy raises me at any point, I'm just done with the hand. I'm just going to bet fold here. I don't really expect him to call with worse. But having said that, the king's such a good bluffing card for me. I will bluff that card a lot of the time, so who knows? He may make some speculative calls there. But that's why I don't mind c-betting that board, because we're going to hit our ace or our king a decent amount. I think we're going to get enough folds just on their own. And then the fact that we're sometimes going to hit an ace or a king on the turn and we can profitably barrel. I think it makes it overall fine. So yeah, these are a slower pace than my usual videos. Hopefully there won't be too much dead end. Hopefully there'll always be something going on for us to talk about. But right now I'm aware that I am just filling time. Here against this guy, he's under the gun range. Raises first in 17%. He doesn't fall to too many 3-bets, but because this guy's in the pot, I'm going to make quite a loose call. And typically I would fold this against under the gun. But when we have the guy that I want to play pots with still in the pot, I don't mind carry on. My 3-bet there for just as a bluff. I mean, the guy's folding 60% to 3-bets. He's folding 63% to re-steals. I think we have a fine 3-bet there. This guy cut off open 56%. We have another slam dunk 3-bet here. And you will see me playing a lot looser in these games than you saw me in any of my snap videos, because I just feel way more confident when I'm playing with stats. I feel I can expand my ranges. I can play with a lot more confidence where I know what I'm doing in various spots. Here against this guy, let's have a look at him. Let's have a look how often he raises C-bets. Not very often, so I'm pretty confident he's going to C-bet and then fold to a raise. If he raised more, I mean, I might not fold depending on how big he makes it, but it's a good board for me in terms of I probably have the best hand if I get raised. I'm not so sure anymore against somebody who seems on the face of it really aggressive pre-flop. I should probably explain my HUD in a moment, but post-flop, not that aggressive. Here is a one-win saw flop of 39%. His aggression frequency isn't that high. So yeah, against that player type, I think we have quite an easy bet fold on that board. Anyway, onto my HUD. It's a very, very basic HUD. On the top line here we have VP PFR, steal, 3-bet, then fold to 3-bet. And sorry, Pat, I'll talk to you later. On the bottom line, I have C-bet, flop, fold to flop C-bet, turn barrel, and river barrel. That's as far as it goes on my HUD. If I want any more stats, more in detail, I do click the pop-up. I do that. I particularly don't have. I might have to sign out of Skype in a moment. If it's going to keep putting them irritating messages up. If I want anything else, I use the pop-ups because it regulates me from autopiloting. It forces me to go looking for the stat, which slows me down, which allows me to just have a little bit more thinking time, which I'm happy to do. I see people with really, really big HUDs and they completely take over the screen. It just looks mess. I don't really like an awful lot of clutter. I don't like mess. Yeah, I'm going to isolate pretty big. I'm going to hope they all fold and just pick up the almost 4 blinds that are in there. But if they don't, I think against 2 loose passive players, I think Ace-8 plays okay. Not brilliant, but I think he plays okay against bad players. Once this regular calls, I think his calling range is going to be Broadway cards and maybe, well, possibly all pairs. I'm not too sure. He doesn't 3-bet a lot, so he can definitely have a stronger than usual range here. So with that in mind, I'm just going to stamp once just to make him fold any pairs worse than the cards showing on the board, because he does fold to a decent amount of C-bets. Here, I would squeeze, but because the fish is the first guy to raise, I don't think I'm going to get this regular to fall behind. I don't think he's going to fall behind. Up to now, he's playing 63-0. So I'm not that fond of 3-betting 63 zeros with pocket tens anyway, at the best of times. Certainly not when I think if I do C-bet, I'm going to get caught behind by all sorts of people. All I'm doing then is playing a larger pot out of position with a medium strength hand. I'm betting this turn just for a little bit of thin value and protection. If the flop checks through, I expect to have the best hand most of the time. And if I do get called here, I'm just going to give up now and just going to check back and expect to lose to this guy, but not really see much value in bluffing him. He goes to showdown 33%. So I mean, I don't think I'm going to get him for jack or a king. So I'm just going to check and hope he caught the 8. And he actually just had a draw, which is okay. We'll take it. So hopefully, with my playing more hands, people will find these videos pretty interesting. They're going to be stored in the snap tables, and we do have this unfortunate overlay which may upset some people. But hopefully it won't upset people too much, because I'm hoping the content's going to be a lot better than the content at the snap tables, where because we don't have stats, you're more hamstrung to play in a robotic type of play. I mean, we can play a lot looser and more aggressive on those games, but I think we're just increasing our variance, increasing the rake that we're paying, and the game's just really silly. They're really quite silly. I've no idea what this guy was doing here, trying to bluff this guy. Yeah, let's just pull that hand up a moment and see exactly what's happening. We have more time. So he's raised, he's been 3-bet by the bad aggressive player. He's called, probably okay with 2 9s. I donk bet. Yeah, fine. The guy had the best hand. But I really, really don't like it. We'll talk about it again in a moment when we get a moment. Start by checking here against the loose passive. Carry on checking and just we're hoping to try and show our hand down. I may call a river bet. Again, here we could squeeze, and I think I'm going to squeeze this time. Here, the guy's really passive and then seems to wake up a lot on rivers. He could just be the sort of guy who just slow plays too much and then just tries to catch you on the river, but I'm going to call this once just to see. And he turned up with the jack deuce, which seems kind of bizarre for somebody who's playing 54/8, but I guess that's what happens against these players. Weird things happen that it's just hard to make any sense of. I'm not going to try and make too much sense of it. Obviously, I clearly don't expect him to turn up with that hand. I'm fine with how I played it. So back to this hand. He donks the full pot on a board that's going to not necessarily hit this guy's range, but we've already seen the guy doesn't like to fold. So if he has any pair, any draw, he's going nowhere. And then when the spade hits the turn, no offense, liquid ice, but that turn jam was horrific. The guy's not going to fold any spade. Don't try and bluff. He's really quite bad aggressive players. I think that's a really poor line you've taken there, and yeah, there's not much else to be said. This guy opens 22% under the gun, so I think we have a squeeze, but I will call it off against the guy with the green tag, $13 stack. If he shoves, I won't be happy about it, but I think I'll have painted myself into a corner by then. Against the guy let's look at this guy. He's opening too wide, in my opinion. He opens too wide under the gun. And in that spot there, when he opens too wide under the gun, and then he gets caught by a loose passive player, then we can get the regular to fold all the time and be in okay shape against a weaker player. When he shoots it in our face, we're not going to be in great shape, but against his range, we're just calling the open. I think everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to quickly start out of Skype because I'm getting tired of that small message coming up. I'm going to call here to try and keep the fish in the pot. I mean, we could easily 3-bet. I have no issue with 3-betting here. I'm sorry about this massive Skype thing in the middle. I have no issue with 3-betting here, but I'd rather keep the fish in the pot if possible. Because this is the guy I'm going to make way more money from this guy than I am this regular. I'm just going to check now we've bricked and take it from there. This guy only falls to 51% of C-bets. but I think he's going to fold more out of position than he's in position. So I think that's probably going to be a higher number when he's out of position. So I think we're okay to take a stab there. Against this guy, I'm not going to see bet this board. I don't really get too many folds. I'd rather just try and get to a cheap showdown against the guy, or just fold if he bets. Here we've been check raised on table 1, so I'm just fully intend to fold to it. Check rate is 9% on flop, so 46 has not much to know from that, but it's not like he's getting hugely out of line. This guy's doing something weird again. As you can see already, these games are just so much better than the snap games. They're full of bad players doing strange things. So I fully expect to be able to achieve and maintain a double-figure win rate in these games. Which in terms of hourly rate, probably still is only on par with my snap hourly rate at 4 big blinds 100. There's going to be so much less variance, and the games are just going to be so much more fun. And just battling out against regulars, hoping to occasionally get in a pot with a weaker player. There's way more fun to be had, and you can't put a price on fun. If I'm maybe losing $1 an hour or $1.50 an hour on my hourly, possibly even $2 an hour, but because I'm having fun, I'm motivated to maybe play 20 hours more a month, which is entirely possible, and also feel more motivated to move up and push myself. I think long term it's going to have a positive effect. Yeah, I'm just going to call. I think my hand's going to play fine in a multi-way pot. This guy's he doesn't see bet too much anyway, and he's sort of hamstrung by the fact he can't bluff very often because of the presence of this fish with the short stack. It's a weaker player with the short stack. I'm just going to call here as well. I'm going to bet quite big. I hope somebody has an ace. And clearly nobody did. And it looks like we flopped the world up here. This pot could get quite interesting quite quickly. He's changed his raise size all of a sudden, which is quite interesting. I'm actually going to 3-bet him this time, because I don't think my hand plays too well as appeal. Now I could call here, or I could raise. I'm going to raise, because I think my equity is so robust. If I get it in against this guy for $14, I'm not going to be too concerned, because we're going to have so much equity. Love to win can't really have much of a hand in this situation, because if he had a real hand with 2 weaker players in the pot, there's no way he would just call this bet. My big concern is he has a better draw than me, but even then I think he'll probably raise his better draws there too. So I think a really good semi-bluffing spot. And unfortunately our friend here has just left. He'll no doubt be replaced by a regular, which will be quite disappointing. This table looks like it might break too, which again, if it does break, I'll just pause the tape and get a 4th table up. I don't particularly want to carry on playing with just 3 tables. And yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to break. I mean, I don't mind playing a little bit of heads up if the guy wants to, but as you can see, he doesn't. That is the one downside to these tables. They do break very quickly if the weaker player busts. So we'll play these pocket kings out, then I'll pause the tape whilst I find another table. I 3-bet this guy. I checked his under the gun race, whereas it's 10%, which is a little bit disconcerting. We only falls to 37% of 3-bets so far, so I think we can definitely get a ton of value. I C-bet this board, and I'm kind of going to hope he doesn't raise, because if he raises, I'll be a little bit concerned that he's made a set. Let's just check the guy's aggression out. He's got 48 at moment, so our 2 players have come back to this table, so that's good. We can just continue playing. And his check raise is a really strange size. I don't think I can fold here, but I'm really very concerned he's got a set. If he hasn't got a set, he's probably got a high equity bluff like 2 diamonds. I just got to go on my hand. I think it's just too likely that he could have jacks or queens and do this. But I am very concerned with sets. The fact he hasn't snap called is somewhat pleasing. And he did fold, so he was bluffing there. I actually did come quite close to folding there. But I think my hand was just a little bit too strong. It's a little bit too likely to have jacks, queens, and some draws there. So yeah, I was far from in love with the spot, but I think my hand's just too strong to fold. I think if we'd 3-bet with a hand like ace-10, I would have folded there for sure. But the fact you can have jacks and queens and draws as well as sets, it's just got to get it in and accept that it's going to have a set a decent amount of time, and there's not really going to be too much you can do about it. Here I'm going to 3-bet really small against, just to try and isolate this guy with the donkey tag. I think we're too early to play this pot against this guy, so I'm just going to fold. I'd like to play as many pots as I could against this guy, but the whole table's going to be in tune with him. I think there's just too much chance we're going to get squeezed for thin value, or squeezed to the bluff. I could c-bet here, but the guy doesn't fold to c-bets by the looks of things. So, I mean, the only point of semi-bluffing is if the bluff part works now and again. So I'm going to take a card off, take a streak off against this particular player. I would c-bet against many players there, but not this guy. Now I've made my hand, I'm just going to bet really big and just hope he has something. And hope it's not a flush. I have no intention to fold in here if he raises. Question here is, is our hand strong enough to peel and hope this guy comes in, or should we just 3-bet now and rely on the fact this guy's going to be isolating a lot? He doesn't fold to re-steals too often. So I'm just going to peel. If he folded to more 3-bets, I would absolutely 3-bet there, but the guy doesn't fold to many 3-bets. He doesn't like his c-bets too much, so let's see how he reacts to donk bets. He raises donk bets to 25%, doesn't fold to them. So there's not that much value in donk bet. I'm going to try and see if he'll let me have a free card here with his low c-bet. Knowing full well that I'm more than happy to call one c-bet. I think we have too much equity to fold. This is where we could get in a spot of bother, because now we've improved the top pair, so we're kind of going to have to call again here. Then probably fold if he triple barrels, because it doesn't look like he's fired the river once yet, but he's only had one chance to. Yeah, I'm not in love with this. The guy doesn't c-bet too often, and his barrel's not exactly enormous, but we just have too much equity right now. The 8 doesn't really change anything if he had an overpair. Our hand hasn't really improved. In fact, it hasn't improved at all. We've just improved past King 10, Ace 10, Queen 10, Jack 10, but that's about it. I'm just going to fold here. If he's triple barreling me there, I mean, good luck to him. There's a good chance he is too. But I don't mind making quite a tight fold there. I'm not in love with it. I don't like him. If he'd bet smaller, I would have paid him off. But I think when regulars triple barrel and then bomb the river, much as we all like to think that we're capable of having quite a well-balanced range there, most regulars aren't, and most regulars are doing it primarily with like a value-heavy hand. So yeah, I'm not that fond of paying off there. Maybe I could have played a little bit differently. I could have check raised the flop possibly, but even then, with the guys, let's see, about 44%. This is a hand I would sometimes 3-bet, but not against this guy. He doesn't fold to 3-bets. So if someone's not folding to 3-bets, it's probably not that wise to try and 3-bet bluff them. I would be interested to see if anyone, I might do what I did last time and post this hand on Reddit as like an addition to the video, because that river, the thing that put me off most was his pretty low c bet. And of course he can just have two high cards with hearts there and just be barreling off. It would be a good spot for him to barrel off with ace king of hearts there, for example, ace queen of hearts, ace jack of hearts, those kind of things. Against two weak players, my hand's really poor, but I'm going to call just because both guys are so poor. If I flop, well, I'm very confident I'll be able to take one or both of the stacks. And then we have a really easy fold and miss. Oh well, that turn would have definitely kept me interested had we made it to the turn. I've completely lost track of time of how long this video's been going for. If you'll excuse me for one moment, 26 minutes. So we're probably going to go for another 10-15 minutes or so. Hopefully the tables will keep going till then. This table will probably break now. Now this guy's quit. I mean, I don't see these regulars sticking around. Now the Fisher's quit. So, I mean, I'll see if we can keep it going. I'm not one for innocently quitting. I mean, if another regular comes and sits, normally I would leave the table because I'm not into playing with 5 regulars. What I'll do that, I'll just play snap. But for the purposes of the video, if the table doesn't break, I'll keep it up. It's not going to hurt to play with regulars for 10 or 15 minutes. Here we're making a very standard isolation again. He's going to get the light blue tag because he's got a VP of almost 70%. Which, no offense to you, annoying, you're not annoying at all. No offense to you, but you are the kind of player that all of us want to be playing against. I'm sure you're watching this video anyway, so I'm not really sure why I'm apologising to you. What is your donk bet rating, sir? Donk bet 50%. If you had a bigger stack, I would consider raising here. But I just think you would raise if you've got any pieces going with it, and I think I'd be wasting my money. So we'll just fold and move on. As we can see, this table's almost certainly going to break. The 2 with the regulars have sat out straight away. I have no idea who this second team character is. So we'll stick around for a little bit and see what goes on. Where are you from, second team? You're from the UK, so there's a reasonable chance you're going to be poor, but who knows. And again, it's another regular who's just going to sit out. Yeah, there's a very good chance this table will break. That guy owns 48%, folds 71 to 3 bets. So it's like a pretty easy 3 bet with almost any 2 cards against someone who's folding that much. Oh, we have a light blue tag who's just come and sat, which is always nice. And yeah, I'm quite pleased 2 regulars just quit and didn't give themselves a chance. I hope 2 different regulars now come and take the seat. Well, I hope 2 fish come and take the seat, but yeah. I don't like it when people just instantly quit as soon as weaker players leave. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for games. I don't think it's good for anything. So yeah, I'm glad some people have missed out there. This guy falls to 67% of c-bet, so I'm going to be c-betting pretty much any 2 against him. When I hit a pair, I'm definitely going to be c-betting. Folded to a raise, of course. When you see a lot of these regulars, you look on the face of it pretty taggish at 24-18, stealing 40%, but then you look at post flop and they're really quite nitty. and they're not really going out of the way to make life too difficult for us. Because we have a blue tag in the big blind, I'm going to open. I'm going to make my open size bigger, just because let's set a point in this guy's 3-bet. We're not going to call his 3-bet unless this guy came in. But I have no issue with making my sizing bigger when there's somebody who I suspect is going to be a weak player in the blinds. Right, so we flop 2 pair. This guy could be just messing around. It looks like he steals quite a lot in the pots. But we're going to raise him and try and get all the money in while our equity is good. But yeah, this isn't an ideal card. It gives him some equity if he was just having some kind of ace-x in his hand now. But I mean, of course, I'm just going to show the rest of the money in, and that's unfortunately we now lose, which is damn unfortunate, and that's why the ace is a not a terrible card, but yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But it does lead us to increase our chance of getting counterfeited, which is kind of what I was trying to say, why it's a bad card. And yeah, it did turn out that's what happens. I'm going to call here because the opportunity to play with 2 bad players is too alluring. This guy doesn't fall to too many 3-bets, so therefore we're going to 3-bet him for value. I'm just going to carry on checking here. I'm not going to semi-bluff because, as stated earlier, I'm not one to try to semi-bluff. People I don't think fold very often. Going to start by betting here. See what happens. So what do we think this guy's range looks like? I'm going to start by checking here. I mean, I think there's a good chance we could be behind with the Queen and the Jack now both being out there. How does he bet turns? We miss C-bets. We don't have a stat for that. I'm going to start by checking here. I think it's just going to be hard to get lots of value now from worse aces. And I may even check fold if he puts a large bet in. Because I just, unless he has it, I mean, I don't really beat ace-10 if he bets big here. And now we've got the nuts. So it's whether do I think he's going to pay a small bet with his 2 pair type hands. I'm going to bet really small here and just hope he has 2 pairs in this card, which I've been calling. And who knows what he floated the flop with there. But he could have been a hand like Queen X, Queen Jack, Queen 10, and he just knows he's not good there on the river. And I didn't notice if my value bet got called on me, but it can't have done because my stack didn't increase by too much, so I'm guessing it hasn't. Queen 8 suited, not in my opening range under the gun. Under normal circumstances, absolutely in it when there's a weak player in the big blind. This guy 3-bets too much, easy call. Obviously not much we can do on this board. How does you see betting 3-bet pots? 45%. I'm going to fall to somebody with that kind of C-bet ratio. This guy is tagged as light blue, but he looks like he's probably just going to be a green. Obviously I'll adjust that again if it gives me any cause to change it. Yeah, let me know what you think about this session and if it's been better than my snap videos. It feels like it's been better. Certainly seems like there's been plenty to talk about. Obviously the layout isn't as good because we're having a dance between tables now and again, but I don't think it would have been too off-putting. Then we certainly, in my opinion, had a lot more interesting session. Open to wide doesn't fall to too many 3-bets, so we'll just start by calling. This guy again falls to a lot of C-bets, so a pretty standard C-bet against him. And the same guy again. He's probably going to have to adjust to it at some point, because I'm going to be c-betting close to 100% against him, just because he's just auto profit. If that number's correct, we just auto profiting by c-betting. Then once he does call, I'm not going to try and bluff him. Right, that's certainly interesting, and certainly enough to tell me to get the hell out of the way. I'm presuming F19 has to be calling here. Wow, he's bluffing. I didn't expect people to use that size as a bluff there, like a 3-bet. It seemed excessive. I'm going to see if I'm a good shot. I'm going to try and make him fold his pocket pairs. No stats in him there, but what's his raise c-bet percentage? 17%. Not that high. And he folds a c-bet 60%. Quite an easy fold. That's a pretty ugly flop. I'm not going to try and make two players fold, so I'm just going to give up. Quick time check again, sorry, 36 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to end the video shortly. We're just going to fold here now. But yeah, please do let me know what you thought of it. I think personally it's been quite interesting. I'd like to do it again. And that's just because I like doing it, I might just carry on doing it. I mean, obviously I like to get more views from my videos. I like to produce videos that I hope people like. At the same time, if I'm enjoying it and no one is watching it, well, there's no harm done, is there? Right, so this guy donked into us. His donk bet is just 9%. I'm just going to call. And I'm probably intending to call down. When he checks, I'm going to go for a bet and fold to a raise. I'm going to bet quite big for value. Right, so we're getting 5 to 1 to call this 3-bet. And this fish is in the pot. So yeah, I'm going to call. And again, we're calling here. Or could we squeeze? Actually, I think we might squeeze here this time. Hopefully try and make Legolas fold. And hopefully get this weaker guy to call. It's not that good news when we get 2 callers. It's not the worst flop in the world, but unfortunately the pot is so big that I don't particularly want to see that fold. I think this guy's range is going to be very pocket pair heavy, indeed. And I think he's going to be less prone to bluff here because he knows this guy's going to be folding too much. So I'm just going to check and give up if Legolas bets. I expect him to have a hand a lot more than usual because he's raised under the gun and called a squeeze, so he's going to have a strong hand a lot more often than B. I don't think he's going to c-bet bluff this guy too much, or going to try and bluff this guy too much. So yeah, happy enough folding there. So we'll play this king queen suited out, and then I think we'll call it, and this jack 7 suited, then we'll call it a session, I think. And that's them both done quite easily. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think, and I'll be back with another video probably in the middle of the week. Thanks for watching.